Every morning, you have a new opportunity to become a happier version of yourself. A very warm morning and a hearty welcome to our respected guests and the students of IIEBM. I am Anmol Tiwari, the moderator for today's session, and I welcome you all to our first session of this delightful day. In this session, we have insights into the career prospects of the information technology and the successful journey of a corporate experience. Also, some advice for our future corporate lives. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our guest of the session, Ms. Tania Das. With a corporate experience of 6 years in the IT sector, she started her career with financial softwares and systems in Chennai and is currently working in Harbinger Group, Pune. Tanya ma'am has completed her master's in human resource management from the School of Management of the Kalinga University of Information Technology. Apart from this, she is a successful painting and food blogger on Instagram and writes articles for LinkedIn and Medium. Now I'd request our guest Tanya ma'am to take this session further.
Thank you so much, Anmol. Warm welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to be here to be interacting with all of you people. You see, 7 years back down the line, I was on your shoes. We have to wake up early in the morning at 7 a.m., rush to the washroom, get ourselves dressed, rush to the mess, get the breakfast, and then go for the conferences. And then, believe me, that was a completely different time altogether, and I really, really miss it. Now that I get to see all of you, come up here for your what did I say, HR conclave. It's a nostalgic feeling for me, and I'm so happy to be here. Once again, hello, I'm Tanya, and I am here to bore you for the next 1 hour so that you eventually fall into sleep. Okay, that was a joke. And yes, that beautiful lady over there isn't me. That is me. And of course, I'm not going to bore you. I hope that I'm going to share with you my ideas and views in the career prospect and growth in information technology post COVID pandemic. So, shall we start? How
Sure,
has the
ma'am.
out Yeah. How has the outbreak impacted the information technology world? Well, before I answer that, let me ask you, how has the outbreak impacted you? What have you done and what have you achieved in the last year? See, the last year has been very different from our previous years, right? Have you ever thought that when you joined your MBA, you will be doing online classes day after day, hours after hours? What we had in mind when we joined MBA was classes, fun, hanging out with friends, and having lots of fun. And I guess you too had the same thinking. You see, it's the same in the corporate also. I remember when the lockdown was announced, and you see, we had to do work from home. I was so happy. Work from home. Never in my career I had to do work from home regularly. We do have work from home option, but that's like once in a month I have to take. I mean, it's not compulsory, but it's accordingly. If you're going somewhere, traveling somewhere, you are not feeling well, you stay at home and you do work from home. But now you don't have to be sick. You don't have to do anything. You just stay at home and you attend your office. And I believe, like for me, it was very exciting. It was same for you, right? I hope so. It's right. Because,
Yes, ma'am.
you can do anything. The great thing that I find here was I don't have to wake up early in the morning and rush to the office or go to the kitchen. What I have to cook for now. That was the most, complicated fact for me in the morning. Like I have to wake up, I have to cook, I have to get ready, I have to reach the office by 10 a.m. And it was exciting. Believe me, I miss that. The only difference that you will find in the corporate life, and in your student life is that if you're at home, your parents will cook for you, they will give you food, you eat it, you get dressed, and you go to the office. But if you're joining an organization out of your native place where your parents are not around, you have to do your own work. And you have to be independent, like damn independent, like a lot independent. And that's what is required. You will not have your parents around, you will not have the friends that you grew up with you around. So you have to independent, you have to understand that no matter what, you have to be there for yourself. Okay. Now coming back to the PPT, how has the outbreak impacted the information technology world? Well, if you ask me, COVID-19 has reached every corners of the world and impacted almost every countries. It has turned our economic down. The outbreak has and still is impacting all industries, including the information and communication technology center. It made people lose their jobs, their near and dear ones, and has caused tragedy and despair beyond imagination. Right? Technology giants, they have put the pause button on marketing operations, they have cancelled essential events and conferences, and announced financial results below market expectations. Right? Like we never thought this would happen. How can you imagine the entire nation going for a lockdown for 21 days? All of that because of a virus, just a virus. Like it was the beginning of the change in our life, which we had never expected, never calculated, and never thought about. So now, if you ask me, how has the outbreak impacted the information technology? Let me show you this video. Let me know if you can hear the sound, okay? I have clicked the option, but is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
भैया छोटू भैया आओ हम अपने बीच की ये दीवार तोड़ने। अरे सुनते हो? देखो देखो भाई क्या करे, तोड़ दो ये दीवार। दबाओ मुझे मत मार। क्या हुआ? क्या भैया? मैं हूँ छोटू। दीवार के मार दिया। भैया अब देखो। छोटू भैया ये दीवार टूटती क्यों नहीं है?
टूटेगी कैसे? अंबुजा सीमेंट से जो बनी है। अंबुजा सीमेंट।
ये तो
Okay, any idea why I have shown you this video? If you want, you can drop your answers on the chat box that you see. And you will eventually get to know why I have shown you this video. So this video was for Ambuja cement. Like we know, right, how strong is Ambuja cement. No matter how much you try to break it, it won't. So tell me, the day lockdown was announced, what was the first thing you did? I, as a matter of fact, made a list of all grocery stores in my kitchen, rushed to the department store. Like it's gonna be locked down. I have to survive, right? I have to eat. So that was the first thing that happened in my mind. Lockdown posed two threats for Indian IT firms. One, how to ensure business continuity for customers and how to ensure safety for their own staff. IT firms booked flights to bring home families and employees who were stranded overseas due to the pandemic and visa issues. And almost overnight, yes, overnight, all IT companies, big and small, embraced work from home. And though we thought that it was for a few days, it was not for a few days. Initially, it created a lot of ifs and buts. But 98% people were working online. 98%. Like the entire office is working online. How great is that? Every meeting, conferences, engagement, town halls were moved online. We had events, we had engagement activities, everything that we did online. And let me tell you a secret when that happened. I did a mini dance because I didn't have to rush to the office every morning. I can work at my own comfort zone from my home. 2020 exposed us to several uncertainty. Like uncertainty is the only thing that we are certain of. What will happen in the next hour? Something will happen. There was a situation that is told that even if the alien landed on Earth, that would not be a surprise. I know we have already been through a nationwide lockdown. Now, if the alien comes and destroys our world, we'll be like, okay, this was what was left. So you see, the reason why I showed you this Ambuja Cement ad was that IT sectors has been resilient. It has been resilient. We thought that we are going to face, sorry, yeah, we thought that we are going to face a disaster. We didn't know what would happen. And there were moments when we thought that we are going to lose our jobs. A lot of people did go through several salary cuts, the hikes and promotions were stopped, you know, and we actually were, so worried and so concerned what would happen. But then IT companies, they stood their ground. You know, a lot has changed during the last year, especially the way business is conducted. The transition from physical to virtual has been a challenging one. But let's see the positive part of it. Okay, let me start with me. I think you also have your own positive part. What did you do with that time? Of course, you planned your joining MBA. You also had in mind, right, that this and this I'm gonna do. A lot of people, you see, this stayed at home, but they didn't plan it out. When I stayed at home, I was so bored. I thought, what else I can do? And there were a lot of options for me because I used to be very busy with office work and personal life and managing both of them, keeping a balance. There was a lot of time for me. So I went back, you know, rewind the pages of my life and I realized that painting was something that I wanted to do and it calmed me. So I made sure that all the weekends, since there was no opportunity of going outside, I stay busy with painting or maybe reading books that I have always wanted to read but couldn't complete or couldn't read because of, the normal life that I used to have. Also, I wondered what else can I do? I have started storytelling. So this all happened in stages. And I'm still doing that because I'm at home and I have a lot of time. And I would like to request all of you, since now you are at home, I guess you are all with your parents. You have a lot of time. Don't waste the time. You might think that now is the time to enjoy. Why should we do something? There are a lot of time in our future. But this time will not come back. This is the time when you sharpen your skills. When you sharpen your soft skills, technical skills, this is the time. You have plenty of time here. Even if you're making any mistake, you can do it again and again. And there is always a tomorrow. And there is no deadline. That's the good part. Let us see what all new technology did we come in contact with in this COVID time. So we adopted a number of collaborative applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and cloud service. So Microsoft Teams is something that we are using right now, right? The platform that we are using right now. Microsoft Teams has given us the platform to connect with people online, and same as the Zoom. You see, when in office, we never had a meeting using Microsoft Teams, never. Because when we had an office, we used to just put a calendar invite and we used to book a conference room. And everyone used to gather and there was this meeting, half an hour, face to face, where you can see people sitting in front of you. Well, that happens now too, only that you can see people sitting at their home and you can see them digitally. Second is the surge in the use of digital media, OTT players, cybersecurity, and data security. Tell me how many of you use Netflix and watch series? I do. I, as a matter of fact, do that. And I find it amazing. Of course, I have my plan. So it's important you have a plan. I know when I have to paint, when I have to cook, when I have to attend the office, when I have to write, and I know when to see Netflix. You see, Netflix and all is something that saw a huge surge. Why just Netflix? Amazon Prime is there, Disney Hotstar is there, and all of them, it saw a huge surge in people. Disney Hotstar, as a matter of fact, achieved the reach in 2 months during the lockdown, which took Netflix 7 years. 7 years. Can you imagine? A lot of people who were not using the OTT platform when the lockdown started, they quickly switched into OTT platform because you need something to entertain you, right? You cannot work the entire day. And there were no options that you can go out, visit any place, go for movies and everything. Also, in the middle of this, there were lots of technology solutions which saw massive growth, like massive growth. There was rise in e-learning, online education, and e-governance. And you are an example of online education, right? I believe you have all your classes online. Moving ahead. Now let me talk you about the changes in COVID area. Tell me, before Corona, right? Let's call it BC, before Corona, before COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. What you used to do when you have to join an organization. I remember when I graduated, what I did, I went to the shopping. I went for shopping and I bought this beautiful formal clothes, beautiful formal shoes, all set. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Happy, very happy. Everything sorted out in my cupboard, and I just know that I have to wear this and that. And it was a very, how would I say, very happy and a good feeling inside. I went for my office the very first day. I joined. The HR introduced me to company policies, give the introduction of the organization, took me for a tour of the organization, introduced me to my manager, to my teammates. We went for lunch together, and it was a very happy day. And in the end, I took a selfie with the HR and put it up on my social media. First day at work. Oh, that is so nostalgic. And also, I had in mind that the next time when I go to office, I will be a part of these corporate meetings that I have always wanted to be. Now, if you look now, what is going to happen after Corona, AC, after Corona period? You will of course go to the office. A lot of companies are calling for a first day induction, only for the first day joining. So the first day you go and everything happens, except that you won't see people in the office. It will be mostly empty. You come in the office, your manager might come, but may not be your team members. That's how it's gonna be, and you have to understand that's how it will be in the future. Not everyone is going to come in the office. The work from home, the policy that has started is going to stay. It's going to stay for the long run. Now what happened when I see, or maybe person like me, someone sees that someone is going to the office. I remember a few days back when I got out of my home for an evening walk. I saw this guy who was wearing an office ID, and he was coming to office or maybe going to office, and I was like, look at him, he is going to office. Like, it has become a status symbol, guys. Everyone is working from home, and someone who goes to the office, look at him, he's going to the office. So yes, it has become a status symbol, one. Secondly, the replacement of meetings with email and IM. For everything that is to happen in the office, come, let's meet, let's discuss over this. We can just drop a message on Teams. Please, I need this, send it to me. So a lot of small meetings has been replaced with email and instant messaging. Business travel has come to a stop, mostly. Of course, who would like to go for a business travel in times like this? A shift away from 9 to 5 office hours. When I joined my first organization, our office timing was 10 to 7. And no matter what, I used to be there before 10 a.m. in the morning. But now when we're doing work from home, that that procedure has been completely moved. Our office timings used to be 9:30 to 6:30. Now I log at 10 a.m. and I log out at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m. Now that depends. There are also time when I have to go out maybe for bank or for some other work in the afternoon for 2 hours. So I make sure that I stay back for 2 hours even after my office hours are completed and extend it till 9 p.m. Yes. So this is how life is for us right now. We are not like going to the office at a particular time and coming back. It's the life for us, and it's for everyone at corporate world. Secondly, is the acceleration of automation. It's very important to go digital right now, right? Nothing has we've been doing physical. Next is the increased demand for digital skills aimed at bridging the digital divide. We all are sitting at home. We cannot see each other. We cannot meet our team members or teammates. So it's important that we increase the digital skills so that we can bridge the digital divide that is between all of us. Now, tell me, what else has COVID-19 given us? What COVID-19 did to us? One, it transformed us digitally. The pandemic has given digital transformation a push that would have taken years to achieve. And IT companies are now making a bigger push for their digital offerings as technology gets ingrained across sales, customer service, and operations. Cash to digital money is a classic example of this on IT adoption. Remember when demonetization struck and I believe the Paytm was introduced? It was a completely new medium. A lot of people didn't know what was Paytm. They didn't know how to use Paytm, and even they knew they didn't want to use Paytm because people were habituated with cash, right? I remember when that happened, it was such a disaster. You cannot pay anywhere. There has to be Paytm, and people did not take the previous currency note that you used to have. And if you just think about it, not a lot of people adopted this. They were still going forward with cash. And even though we changed the currency note, a lot of people went to the shop and did shopping using cash. But once COVID-19 struck, everything went digital. You know, even though digital money was being actively promoted from demonetization, the rate of its adoption has gained acceleration only once COVID-19 struck. You see, it is said that human beings tend to change faster under difficult circumstances than when offered motivation. As a matter of fact, I used to use Google Pay from the very beginning. I think ever since Google Pay was introduced. I think it was days right before. And I've been so lazy. It's laziness for me to walk up to the ATM and take out cash. So I used Google Pay. Of course, not for small things, but for big things, I used Google Pay. There used to be few cash in my account, in my wallet, not a lot. Now what happens? I don't even have 20 rupees change in my wallet if you ask me. Even if I have to buy dhania from the nearby grocery shop, I go there, I buy 5 rupees dhania, and I tell this brother of mine, Bhaiya, Google Pay chalega? And he used to like, yes, madam. See, that's how our life has changed. That's how COVID-19 has changed our life. Unfortunately, it took a pandemic for the entire world to realize the benefits of IT and going digital. Let me tell you this interesting fact. The first 21 days of lockdown, India has recorded 100 million plus digital transaction in a single day. 100 million plus digital transaction. Can you imagine that? That's a lot. Okay. Next, what else COVID-19 gave us? COVID-19 gave us our new normal. With the pandemic continuing, yeah, it's still continuing, I would say, and the vaccines had just come. Work from home is the new normal and is expected to become a part of the corporate strategy. Whether 15% or 50% of the staff is allowed to work remotely is still to be seen. But hybrid work models, this work from home models, will definitely be part of the post vaccine world. The government also played a critical role in enabling this ease of working. It eased its policies from around working for IT and IT-enabled services to reduce compliance burden on them and facilitate not just work from home, but work from anywhere. Therefore, when you join a corporate next year, keep new normal in mind. Now, talking about the career prospects post COVID-19 pandemic. There were concerns that the pandemic might have an impact similar to the one seen during the 2008 financial crisis, right? You know about the 2008 financial crisis. The global health calamity had sparked concerns that clients could cut down on their IT budgets to save cost. Companies like TCS, Wipro, Cognizant all presented a cautious outlook. Salary hikes and promotions were on hold. But wait for it, wait for it. Despite 2020 being a challenging year, companies like Infosys and Wipro closed multi-million and even billion-dollar deals. A lot of companies later in 2020 declared promotions and hikes too. And I'm proud to say I'm part of that company. In one of the news articles yesterday, it was mentioned that India's Big Four alone plans to hire 91,000 campus freshers, where TCS, might hire 40,000, Infosys 24,000, and HCL plans to hire 15,000. So you can be happy. But one thing you need to know, and what's that? You need to know that it's hard to predict what tomorrow will look like in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. But one thing is for certain, big changes are coming to our world at large. You might be happy that everything is going normal, companies are hiring. I don't need to be worried about. Yeah, IT company has been resilient and IT company has been improving and has done well. But don't you think you have a responsibility? So what's your responsibility? What should you do as a student? Your company, your college will give their best to introduce you to corporate world, to give you placements. But it is also your responsibility in times like this that you help your company by helping yourself. That's the best I can tell you right now. And how can you do that? First of all, adjust your mindset. As I said, there was a time when we were very worried that we might lose our jobs. I know you all are going through the same thing, what would happen next year? Will we get placement, leave placement? Will we get internship this year? Will any company hire us? Will we get an opportunity? Your college is trying hard to bring in new corporates, to bring in new companies, to bring in new industries. But come on, it's your responsibility too. Okay, you cannot just rely on them. You help them out. And how will you help them out? You might have a panic in your mind where you are like, we don't know what is going to happen. Why this has to happen? Why this has to happen? Believe me when I say this. COVID-19 pandemic has happened and there is nothing that you can do to go back or rewind the pages and make it stop. The inevitable has happened and you cannot change it. So first of all, you have to keep your mindset clear. Adjust your mindset. The pandemic has happened. We are in the middle of a pandemic and I, as a student, need to make a lot of changes. I need to improve myself. That's the best I can do. Believe me, if you are not able to crack an internship later on or might not be able to get a job, at least you will be happy. You will have this in your mind. I gave my best. I gave my best. I did everything in my capability to improve myself so that I get selected by a good company. So adjust your mindset is the first thing. Be positive. Take this sportingly and work on it. Job hunting is going to be a struggle. You are going to be rejected, but it isn't personal. You are good enough. Don't let your internal monologue take over and crush your spirit. It's gonna be challenging. It's not gonna be easy. During this pandemic, you see a lot of big companies pulled back their offer letters. And can you imagine? Can you imagine the condition, the situation that the graduate will be? He was so happy that he was going to join this big company. But then he comes to know that because of COVID-19, his offer letter has been revoked. Can you imagine that pressure? Something, see, that I would say that was something that nobody could have stopped. Nobody had expected that this something like that would happen. So you try your best to give to make yourself the best person that you can be. The current environment might have fewer positions that match exactly what you have in mind. You need to be creative, resourceful, and perhaps widen your search. You may have to network more. You may have to learn to squeeze more out of LinkedIn. You may even have to work in jobs that are not directly related to your field of study for a period of time. And all of that is not possible until and unless you adjust your current situation. Moving on to next. Remember this saying, it's not about what had happened in the past, but what you decide to do now that will determine what will happen in the future. What has happened has happened. Now you decide. You want to make your career, you want to make it happen or not. Second is get organized. Give me a moment. Yeah. Second is get organized. Make sure you have an updated LinkedIn page. LinkedIn is a very important part of corporate world. Make sure you have an updated LinkedIn page with a green profile badge that says open to work with a good headline title. LinkedIn has this option now where you can put on your profile picture open to work. Prepare a good profile. Make sure your CV is in tip top condition. Go through your CV again and again. Look for grammatical errors, fonts, synchronization. It's very important. There is no excuse for a bad CV or a single typo error. You have to keep that in mind that everything is in tip top condition and that I can do it. Next is be prepared to meet the changing activities requirements for career holders. You have to acquire new skills. You might think, I'm going to sit for finance placement or HR placement or marketing placement. I have all the skills. No, you don't have all the skills. Why? Because we are in a COVID-19 situation. Had this been pre-COVID-19 situation, you are prepared. But now you are in a COVID-19 situation. You have now the opportunity of online learning to familiarize yourself with the technologies that facilitate virtual meetings. Paying attention to the pros and cons of different meeting software, to presentation methods that engage the audience, or how to cope with internet connection when internet connection is patchy. These skills are going to be crucial as the world of commerce is increasingly dependent on digital. As students, you get to experiment with these tools when they are mostly provided free to you. Let me give you an example. Maybe you are going to join a sales team. Normally, for a person who is working in a sales team, he has to meet his clients. No, he has to go meet his client face to face, meet them over a cup of coffee or for a lunch, and try to pitch him about your organization and try to get the project, right? That's how it happens. Nowadays, it doesn't happen that way. You try to get in touch with the client and you set up a meeting online. It happens virtually. So you need to have that skill. You need to have that skill where you can convince your client virtually over a medium. When it was face to face, when you are sitting in front of your client and he's sitting right in front of you, it was easy to convince. Now that it's happening virtually, it's not that easy. You need to have that influencing skills, you need to have super communication skills, convincing skills, and everything that you have to make it happen. So these are the skills that we thought would never be important before. Yeah, it was important, but not to the extent that it is important now. So now that you have time, you have to understand, make yourself familiarize with these technologies. Next, develop your skills. One last thing to keep in mind. When planning your educational enrichment for success in the post-coronavirus world, don't overlook the importance of soft skills. You might be an expert in domain knowledge. You might be an expert in your studies. You have high CGPA, but are you sure you are an expert in soft skills? Do you have the required soft skills that is important when you sit for placements, when you go out looking for organizations? You must be able to adapt to the changing nature of economies. This means not just reacting to the change, but engaging with it and embracing it. You need to ensure that you have career resilience and you are able to use and adapt to the changing use of technology. How are you at resilience and adaptation? Is something that the employers are looking for. I deal completely with employee engagement, right? Employee engagement, culture, and organization development. Now, for me, it was very easy when it was normal days and I could see my employees, in front of me. So one of my KRA is to engage employees. We have this team bonding works, team bonding activities at work. And I remember I used to be so happy interacting with the people, and we used to have these fantastic games, fantastic games. Now, when everything went online, I had to go to the internet, search thoroughly how can I make it happen. One of the greatest disadvantages that happens in corporate life is you cannot see people. When it happens physically, people are standing in front of you, they're right in front of you. So when you are making them play games, you can see the expressions on their face and you can guess if they are happy or not. Now when you are doing this online, you don't know, they are on mute, and you are making them play games and they are talking and they are laughing when they are mute, so you don't know if they are happy or not. So this was something that took me quite some time to get adjusted, because I'm habituated with people in front of me laughing and smiling and me laughing and smiling with them. We have to adapt to new technologies. There was no other option. This has to happen. Work cannot stop. What I can do as a person is enhance my skills, and that's what I did. You need to be forward looking. For example, capitalizing on the skills that they have learned in studying online. Employers, organizations wants to know that you can adapt, that you can work from home, that you can make it happen. Being able to adjust to a sudden change in the work learning environment is crucial. How flexible are you? Can you come to the office and work tomorrow? Can you go work from home and do the same work with the same productivity and give the same performance outputs? How can you capitalize on what you have learned during COVID to make sure that you are more valuable to an employer in the future? How can you show that you have been resilient, that what sets you apart from others? I know you might have heard this from the very beginning of your MBA classes. What sets you apart from others? Think about it again and again. What sets you apart from others? These are the key skills that employers are going to be looking for. Use technology to network. Take extra courses. You have an online education system. Take the benefit of it. Once you use the technology to network and take extra courses, you can hit the ground. It can help you hit the ground running once things get back normal. Many people will be pounding the pavement looking for jobs, taking time in advance to consider what additional knowledge and experience will help them get ahead. And it can offer an invaluable edge. Just make sure you keep investing in yourself. That's the best thing that you can do as of now. Here I have put down some of the skills that you will need to succeed in a post-coronavirus business world. One is leadership. Second is flexibility and adaptability, critical thinking, communication and emotional intelligence, tech savvy, creativity and innovation, be proactive. Let me give you an example what happens. You see, I share the same table with my manager. I'm sitting here and my manager sits right to me. Yeah, sorry, left to me. Used to sit, I would say, rather, when things were normal. So when there was any problem at work, I used to just ping her, please guide me through this. And she used to be very helpful in guiding me through it. Now that I'm sitting at home, I don't have that option. I'm trying to ping her, she's getting back to me, but there might be times when she's not here, she's out somewhere. And there's the time when I need to use my mind. When you are at home and nobody is around you, you have to use your mind. You have to use your presence of mind to understand the situation, to come with a solution. You need to have that flexibility. Many a times you see, as I talked about the team morning activities that I do, there are teams who wants to do their team morning activities at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is the time I retire, I log out. But then I do it for them. I want to show them that I'm flexible in my work and that no matter I'm working from home, I am doing my best to show my productivity and my performance. And that I have adapted the situation and I can gel well with the people even when it's 7 p.m. Next is the communication. Communication is the key. Communication is the key. Communication is the key. You have to communicate. You have to have excellent speaking skills. You have to have excellent writing skills. You have to have skills to know a person, to understand the person in this scenario like this. Communication is the key. Even when there was no corona, communication was the key. When there is corona, communication is the key. Next is tech savvy. I don't think I need to say a lot about tech savvy. You know how the world has been, everything has gone digital, nothing has happened offline. Everything is happening online. So you need to be tech savvy. You need to get accustomed to the technology that you are using. Leadership. You need to show your leadership skills. And how you do that? There will be times when you have to take your own decision. There will be times when you have to come up with your ideas, share your ideas, show that you can handle this, you can take this responsibility. And that's how you show your leadership skills. Creativity and innovation. Everything that happens at work, we don't have the straight answer for everything that happens at work. There might be a situation where a client needs something, or something that has you have never dealt with before. You need to be smart enough, you have to be creative in coming up with a solution. See, one of the innovation and creativity that we did was, when everything went online, there was no way we can stay in touch with the employees. So we had this session, 1 hour session with the employees every day, where everyone would logged in. We have this Zoom account, everyone would logged in, and we used to, how do I say, we used to have one internal employee showcase his personal skills. So there were employees who were playing guitar online, and the entire other organization is online listening to him. There is person who is very good at painting. There are people whose daughters and sons can play very good musical instrument. We call them in these sessions, and people are happy. People are happy that no matter what, no matter we have gone online, we take care of them. That's the people skills that we have built. I want you to build that people skills. When it was offline, when we were in the office, it was easy. You just go in the hallway, you walk in the corridor, you see someone, hey, hello, how is everything? How is it going? You don't have that option anymore. You have to ping them, you have to call them. Even when you are in the college, call your friends, talk to them, talk about work, I mean your studies. Of course, you will talk about going there and here and all other things that you have, but also talk to them about your work, about the discussion. Now that I have completed my MBA like 6 years back, one of the most important thing that I miss is, you know, sitting with my friends, sitting with my teammates and discussing over a project. It used to be so fun. We used to meet in the evening. So ours was a residential program, and we have these conferences rooms and halls. So we used to come together in a room. Somebody used to get some, how do I say, some snacks. Somebody is getting cold drinks. We are all sitting, and we have to prepare this PPT. And there used to be one leader. So you take care of this part one, two, three, four, five. Back in the corporate, back in the MBA life, it was that way. Now in the corporate, it's the same way. We come up with an initiative and we divide it into teams. This is your responsibility, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. Make sure when you have a responsibility, or even if you are a leader, be responsible. Be responsible now when you have to create a PPT, part of PPT. Be responsible when you join a corporate. That is very important. Lastly, be proactive. What has happened right now is, since we are at home and we don't have a lot of work to do, we have become very lazy. It is like, we're at home. Why we are rushing it? We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it day after tomorrow. There's no need of rushing it. Don't do that. Don't do that. You are losing yourself. I did that for some time. I was so bored at home that I used to be like, there used to be work coming to me. I used to be like, there is time, I'll do it. After maybe I watch this series, maybe I eat this, or maybe I take a stroll in my balcony. Don't do this. If you have work, if you have studies to complete, you have to go through this chapter, do it now. Don't keep it for tomorrow. Don't be lazy. Laziness will ruin you. Be proactive. Proactivity is also important when you are in an organization working in the corporate. The fast you reply back to a mail, It shows how proactive you are and how serious you are with your work. And why just replying back to the mail? It can be anything. Maybe an assignment is given to you in your corporate, in your in an organization. It's important how fast you complete it and you show that yes, I'm serious about it and that I'm interested in my work. This is important. This all these things are important. And you say these are very basic things which we don't understand. We think that it's easy and it can be done. It's okay. Don't do that. It ruins you. It takes a lot of time to create that impression in front of your manager, in front of your teacher. And it takes one single incident to ruin that. One single incident. So you have to be proactive all the time. You have to understand that it is your life. You have to make it happen. Everybody else, whoever with you, are trying to make it happen. But it's you, the sole person, who has to make it happen. You are the owner of yourself. Keep that in mind. Work towards your goals. Invest in yourself. Try to polish your skills, your soft skills, your technical skills, and voila, you are there. You will achieve success. You will be successful. May not be today, may not be now, but tomorrow you'll be successful. And I believe it. I might need something, I might uh, need to get this or make this work happen, but it's just not happening. But I never lose hope because I know this will happen. I have this firm belief that this will happen. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but there will be a time when this will happen. And I keep this belief in myself. Be positive. There is a solution to all the problems in the world. There is a solution. Keep that in mind. Okay? Now that I am almost done, yes, who are you gonna be? So you decide who are you gonna be. You want to be a successful person, or you want to stay back, do nothing, make you know, be nothing in your life, or you want to achieve something. You decide who are you gonna be. Here I have a video to show you.
Who are you going to be? And if you'll notice, I'm not asking what are you going to do, but who are you going to be? I'm asking you about how you plan to live your life every day. How are you going to respond when you don't get that job you had your heart set on? For all of you who are going to be teachers, what are you going to do if the students in your class next year just don't respond to your lessons? For all of you going into business, how will you react when your boss gives you a goal that feels way too high? See, these are the moments that define us. Not the day you get the promotion, not the day you win Teacher of the Year, but the times that force you to claw and scratch and fight just to get through the day. The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. See, those are the times when you've got to ask yourself, who am I going to be? And I want to be clear, this isn't just some vague platitude about building character. In recent years, we've actually been seeing a growing body of research that shows that skills like resilience and conscientiousness can be just as important to your success as your test scores or even your IQ. For instance, West Point cadets who scored high on things like grit and determination were more likely to complete basic training than those who ranked high on things like class rank, SAT scores, and physical fitness. So what we're seeing is that if you're willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick yourself up when you fall, if you're willing to work and work until your weaknesses become your strengths, then you'll develop a set of skills that you can mold and apply to any situation you encounter, any job you might have, any crisis you might confront. But you got to make that choice. And let me just share just a little secret before I end. As someone who has hired and managed hundreds of young people over the course of my career, whether it was during my time as a lawyer, as an administrator, as a university, a nonprofit manager, even now as First Lady, I have never once asked someone I was interviewing to explain a test score or a grade in a class. Never. I have never once made a hire, Just because someone went to an Ivy League school instead of a state school, never. What I have looked for is what kind of person you are. Are you a hard worker? Are you reliable? Are you open to other viewpoints? Have you stepped outside of your own self interest to serve others? Have you found a way to serve our country, whether in uniform or in your community? Again and again, I have seen that those are the qualities that I want on my team because those are the qualities that move our businesses and schools and our entire country forward. And just understand this. Those are the qualities that you all already embody. They're the values you learned from your parents, from the communities you grew up in. And today, more than ever before, that's what the world needs. Who
Well, I am almost done with my PPT and my presentation. So if you have any question, shoot. Hello?
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Ma'am, I think Ashok Jana have a question. He has raised his hand.
Okay, Ashok, go ahead.
Ma'am, how should we shape our career from a non-tech background to IT sector, ma'am, as a marketing student?
So you are a
Like
marketing
what skill
student.
set are new?
Okay, and you said that you don't have a technology background, right? So what
Yes,
have
ma'am.
you done your graduation in?
BSc, ma'am.
BSc. That's fine. I did my BSc and then I did my human resource and now I'm a human resource manager. As I told you, what has happened has happened. It's important that now you polish your skills. One of the most important skills that you need when you are in marketing is you need to have very good communication skills. Very good communication skills. One. Secondly, you need to have very influencing and convincing skills. That's very important. So these are the soft skills that you require: communication skills, influencing skills, convincing skills, people skills. In marketing, you have to talk to a lot of people. You know, you have to talk to people, understand them, and you have to come up with solutions. So it's important you have that skill to build that rapport with the people and that they are happy with you. Be a person, be a happy person, where people would like to talk to you, where people would like love to come to you for any problem, any solution. So these are few of the skills that you need to take care. Also, as I say, you need to be a creative thinker. When in marketing, there might be a situation where you might have to brand a product. I'm just giving an example, brand a product or something like that. How will you do that? You have to use your own brain. Even if it means you have to go back in the Google, search for options, come up with a solution, think about it. Do your research. How am I gonna brand this product? Who are my customer? Who are my target audience? How can I make it in a different way? How can I make it appealing to the audience? So you have to be a creative thinker. You have to show your leadership skills. But firstly, make sure you have good communication skills and you have good influencing skills. That's what I can say as of now. And rest all depends
Thank you,
on you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, Sejal have a question.
Yes, Sejal, go ahead.
Very good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, what are the skill set required for a management student in an IT sector?
In an IT sector. Now you need to decide which sector. See, IT sector is fine, but you will take up a branch, right? You will be going into human resource, operations, marketing, or finance. So I'm going to give you a very generic skill set, what is required in the IT sector. One, as I said, be proactive. Show that you are there. One of the best things that you can do in the organization is be the person who is always helpful, who has the solution to all the problems. And be a happy person. There are people in the organization who are kind of very serious. And even me as a person, I find it very scared going and talking to that person. Don't be that person. Be a person who people love to come and talk to. Be a person who is helpful to others. It's important that you do your work. It's important that you help your team members in their work. Also, as I said, have that thinking. I know you will have a lot in your plate, and there might be times when you are like exhausted and you cannot extend it, and you will be, I cannot do it anymore. But that's the moment that defines you. Remember this. When you when you go beyond your capabilities, that's the moment that defines you. And you realize that this is something that I can do. Even though you thought that this is something I cannot do, means there are so many things on my plate. How can I help him or help the team member out? But if you can stretch it out, you are something that you will feel proud of. Also, you have leadership
Thank you,
skills.
ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Ma'am, next question will be from Tane Peshwani.
Yes, go ahead.
A very good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, my question is somewhat related with Sejal's question. Like, what is the growth prospect for a management student in an IT sector?
Um, if you ask me about the current situation right now, IT sector has stood resilient all throughout the year. When the COVID pandemic
Okay.
struck, when the COVID pandemic struck, as I said, everybody was worried how this will happen, and it took a overnight, just a overnight, to make everybody work from home. If you see in other industries like aviation industry or hospitality industry, those industries has been badly hit in COVID because no one is going outside. There is no chance or opportunity of people for people to go outside, go for a trip to other city. So there is no option where you can show your hospitality. Also, aviation sector, as I said, for the many few months, flights were closed, and the flight company and the aviation company suffered a great loss. Whereas for IT companies, the work never stopped, starting from the beginning to the end. Yes, there was a situation in the middle where a lot of clients did pull back their projects, but then still, IT company were resilient and they did pull up through this difficult situation. So if you go in the IT sector, you will be staying there, not only staying there, only if you show your capabilities, your performance, that you are an excellent performer, you are going to grow there. That's all for now.
Ma'am, next question is from Lavesh Gupta.
Mhm.
Very good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
So, ma'am, my question is, what are the job opportunities for finance people in IT sector?
Job opportunities for finance people. Okay. See, I have not done my finance, but I do have a little bit of idea. My specializations was in marketing and human resource. So for finance, you will have a lot of role. The company has to take care of the entire, how I to say, the financial part of the organization. So there are different sections in the organizations that you need to take care of. If you're starting at a very junior level, maybe you will be asked to keep a record of the expenses and what are the other investments that the company has made. This can be in a very junior level, but as you grow up, you will understand that there are many other works. You might need to take care of the balance sheet of the organization, try to understand where, how it has happened. And I'm telling you, this is a very tedious job, and also it's very exciting if you like finance. And you have to be very crisp and you have to be very sure that whatever you are dealing in finance, it's true. Right? A little mistake in creating the balance sheet can create a lot of impact, a lot of loss, a lot of profit. So you have to make sure that you have that insights, you have that skills to be in the finance team. Although it will start at a very beginning level, But eventually, as you climb up the ladder, you will be given more responsibilities. Maybe you will be given the responsibilities of one of the business unit, their expenses, their ledger, their balance sheet, their profit and loss. Maybe you have to take care of it. What, where has been spent, and how it has been spent, and how it can be made better. What are the budgets that you have? If it is going more than, if the business unit is spending more than that, and there are different sections of business unit. If they has gone for how would I say, their conferences, the town halls where it has been set up, the expenses that has been made. Maybe you as a person can take care of the business unit, or your organization will trust you with a business unit, and you have to take care of that business unit as an entirety, their expenses, their profit, their growth, how it can be made more, more rational, how it can be made more, more something that you can get benefit from. So yeah, this is how your finance career will be if you go into a finance team in an organization.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any more questions?
No, ma'am, there are no more questions. Am I visible?
Yes, you are visible. Okay, and
No,
then
ma'am.
now that we don't have more questions, thank you so much. You can find me at 9600105975. So if you need any career advice or career guidance, you can call me up. This is my mail ID, tish.das@gmail.com. And once again, this beautiful lady isn't me. That's all for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable experience and learnings with us. I'm sure students would have learned a lot from this insightful session. Best wishes for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anmol. Thank you so much, Mayuresh. It was a pleasure connecting with you all. As I said, it really made me nostalgic seeing you people after such a long time. And I can actually recall my MBA days when we used to, go for and attend the HR conclave and come up with a lot of questions. I wish all of you best of luck. Remember, it's in you. Only you can make it happen. Keep that in mind and you will be successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Tanya.
Thank you so much, Mayuresh.
Good day.
Thank you.